everybody. Welcome back to episode 78, Talkoffamepod podcast with your host, Kylie, and I'm so excited to have on actor, singer, dancer, and Ensemble in the Broadway show, The Music Man, Mitchell Tobin. Thanks so much, Mitchell.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Oh my gosh. So you're an actor, singer, dancer. What made you want to start doing that and being in this type of industry?
So, actually, my older sister was in the competition dance, and so I would always go with my mom to her dance competitions, and I always wanted to join her on stage, and eventually got to the point where I would be crawling up onto the stage while my sister was doing her solos, and my parents would have to come and literally drag me off stage. So then they were like, okay, maybe we should put them in some dance classes. And so the first thing that introduced me to this world really is dance, and from there I just continued honing my skills, and then eventually auditioned for Billy, which then opened my eyes to the world of musical theater. And so then after that I just continued to improve my acting and singing so that eventually one day I could get to be on Broadway.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, you performing in Billy and all that stuff. Like, what was that experience like? Because you played that role multiple times, all over the place.
Yeah. So I did it on the second national tour, and then I moved to the West End to do it in London. And then after that, I was getting ready to start high school, and so we moved back home, and I ended up doing it a couple more times in regional theaters around the world again. Not around the world, around the US.
Yeah.
I did it in Kansas, California, Long Island, and then that was time. I was like, okay, now it's time to be as somewhat of a normal child. And so then I decided to just focus on my studies in high school and whatnot. But it was such an amazing experience, touring as such a young child, and being surrounded with so many like-minded people was so special, and really helped form me into the person that I am. It was definitely hard being away from my family and my home, but it was so much fun being the lead of a show at such a young age and having that experience, because it's not always common. And I'm actually in Music Man with the other Billy that I trained with and toured with. He's actually a Music Man with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Drew Minard.
God, I can't believe that. What's his name? I feel like I might have heard of them.
Yeah, his name is Drew Minard. He started Billy with me. We trained in New York for, I think, 4 months, and then we went on tour together, and we've been best friends ever since.
Oh my God, that's amazing. What a world. Like you said before, seriously, what a world.
Yeah, and I had no idea that he was going to be in the audition until it was the final callback, and he walked in right as I was learning the combo, and I was like, oh my God, hey.
LA, are you really auditioning for this role right now? Imagine if you guys were just doing the same exact role. Okay.
I know. We originally we thought that we got cast in the same in the same type of dancing role, but then ultimately we got separated into very similar roles, but he gets to do more jumping and I get to do more turns.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Like you said before, you began dancing at such a young age and everything.
Yeah.
You started competing by the age of 5, right?
Yeah, I actually I think so. It was such a long time ago. My first solo, actually, I barely could tap dance. I could barely dance. It was more so just, I was just so happy to be on stage. It was just me kind of walking around and performing and living my best life on stage. But I think I started dancing when I was 3 years old, and haven't stopped since. I've been in dance classes almost all my life ever since.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's your favorite thing style dancing to do? Because I do dance as well, so I love dancing.
Oh, yay! That's awesome. I would say my favorite style is Oh, that's a good question. I really love classical dance and contemporary. But I've been exploring more styles and options, and now I really love doing heels dance and neoclassical work, and I really love them all, but I would definitely have to say my favorite is probably like classical / neoclassical and heels.
Yeah, I love that. I do tap dancing and all of these things.
Really?
I basically try everything.
Yeah,
mostly like tap dancing and like hip hop are like my two main things.
Oh, that's amazing. My sister and I actually, the dance studio that we were at when we started was mainly a tap studio. So I was, my main skill was tapping for a very long time.
I love that. Like, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Florida.
Oh, no way. Oh my gosh. I live like up in Pennsylvania, so it's not that far from New York
that's
City.
not far at all.
So it's not that far from like Florida and everything. Florida is literally like my second home.
Oh, really? You go there a lot?
Yeah, I go there a lot, yeah.
That's amazing.
I seriously love Florida and everything. I literally live there, not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It is quite nice. The weather is always, you can always count on the warm sun.
Yeah. And so you are currently in Ensemble on Tony-nominated Broadway show, The Music Man.
Yes.
And it is seriously amazing. I could literally see a million times and will never get bored of it. And so what is it like to be part of Broadway production with such an amazing cast?
It has been life-changing, honestly. It's very it can be a little intimidating making a Broadway debut with such a well-seasoned cast and with this cast is just so good. When I was walking in, it can be a little bit like, wow, this is wow.
It's a very surreal thing.
Very surreal, but it's been the biggest blessing, and I've made a little home and family with this show. Ever since rehearsals, we just immediately it was always just such good energy and just such a good time that as we moved to the theater, it was just so natural for us to we all wanted the show to be as amazing as possible. And so we were all putting in our very best work, and we also just were always going in with the best mindset that we could and creating such a good work environment. So it's been surreal, honestly. I've seen so many shows at the Winter Garden when I was younger, so it's been a dream of mine. And so to make my Broadway debut with this cast in this theater, it's like at my age also, it's super, super special to me.
Oh my God, I love that. Like, do you have a favorite moment or a moment that kind of stuck out to you the show so far? I think it's supposed to go on until November or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think you're right. It's somewhere in like November/December area of the time zone. But I think my favorite moment, I guess, of the show is the library. Because Hugh is just so good at what he does. It's so natural, and he just like that whole number is essentially Harold is messing around with Mary and trying to
is that the scene where they throw around all the books and everything? Yeah.
And so one of my favorite things is just seeing all the different takes that Hugh will do, because every single time, every single performance, it's a little bit different. It's never the same, especially with the library. And I mean, like you said, with the throwing of the books, sometimes we can't always catch it. And so oftentimes, Hugh sometimes will throw his book and not catch it, and it'll fall down into like the orchestra pit. And there was a time where like the conductor was just like handed him the book while we were all performing. It was hysterical.
Oh my
God! Like, I love little moments like that.
Like, it's just hysterical thinking to myself, like, oh, this is yours. Like,
Honestly, though.
Yeah, and I met Hugh twice, and
Oh yeah.
he's so funny and so kind. And I met him like when I went down a couple of weeks ago,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's really the sweetest person like I ever met in my life.
I know. It's
And like when I was talking to him, we were like talking for like 5 minutes, and like
that's
and he's just the sweetest person. That's really like the best conversation I ever had in my life.
yeah. So I remember Sutton in an interview was saying how like one of his greatest attributes is he disarms you immediately. It makes you feel safe, and um, I I was very excited to meet him. I had no idea what he was going to be like, just because this is the first time I'm actually spending quality time with such a huge celebrity. I mean, there are a lot of really big names in this cast, so it's so special. He literally brings us scratch off lottery tickets every Saturday.
Oh my God, no way.
And brings us bagels every Sunday. And he's just so our first show, pardon my cat, our first show, he was so nervous, his cheeks were starting to like quiver, and like seeing someone who is so successful, so talented, be so down to earth and humble is it's so every single day it's like insane. Always has like a smile on his face. He's always saying hi to everyone, hugging everyone. He's always just like reminding everyone how amazing they are and how happy he is to be there. So it's honestly insane to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I first met him, I just remember being so starstruck. I'd never been so starstruck in my life. Because I've been a fan of Hughes for years. And I idolized him and everything. And I was like, oh my God, just Hugh Jackman. Like I don't know why, but I'm basically like calm around a lot of people since I really talk to celebrities and everything for a living. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. Like I'll be fine. Like
I got this in the bag.
Yeah, exactly. And like it was complete opposite. I was like, I really would pass out. I really was like awesome. I'm like, Kylie, if you embarrass yourself in front of Hugh Jackman, then you
I know.
Regret it.
Yeah.
You regret
the first time I met him, I was like, hi.
So he was like awkward. I'm like, hi.
No, literally, it took me a while to feel comfortable enough to actually talk to him as if he's just one of my friends,
Yeah.
And same with Sutton. It took me a while to actually not think of her as Sutton Foster and just.
Yeah, but she's like a Broadway legend.
Yes, she is, and oh my God, she's a beast on stage. She's so good, so stable, so consistent. Both of them are insane. It's so inspiring watching.
Exactly. Like, what is it like to what is it kind of talk about? Like, what is it like to get to work with both of them? Like, as you said before, like it's like different every single day, as the shows are like every single day, 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
Like, what is it kind of like to basically do all these shows with them? And because like they're so big in like the Broadway world and this in general, and like what is it kind of like to do it every day like with them?
No, totally. It's I've been using this word a lot, but it's very surreal. Doing 8 shows a week in of itself is very difficult to always be on and always be there and present, but they somehow create this environment where it's just like it's just a part of the day. It's just for example, like I was super tired in between shows, so I took a nap and woke up at the 10-minute call, and I was running very late and I was like freaking out. But then like not only Hugh and Sutton, but like the rest of this cast is just so like, oh, you're here, you're fine. We're gonna put on a show. It's gonna be great. Hugh gave me a hug. I talked to Sutton before the library. And she was like, how are you? How is everything? I was like, good. I feel absolutely insane. Like I woke up at 10 minutes and I was like, I was trying because her thing is she naps every single time in between shows. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll try what Sutton does. And so they're always just so like, they have this ability to make you feel so seen and heard and calm. It's crazy. And I was saying this before, they're both so humble, and like when we were in rehearsals, he would just like, when he got a chance, he would just walk into the rehearsal studio and sit down just to watch all of us dance. And then he would just be sitting there like like seeing this huge man who has done so many amazing things, just like be so in awe of the dancing that we're doing is mind-blowing to me. And he's just like, oh, they always, it's, yeah, they're so special. They were born to be the lead, like he was born to be a leading man and she was born to be a leading woman, and them together, it's like such an amazing duo.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was gonna say that. It's like their duo in Amazing Man is seriously like my favorite duo of all time. Like like the way they act off and on stage is something you don't see often.
No.
And like their chemistry and the way they act with each other and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I want this. Like it's something you don't see a lot.
Yeah, like so I brought my sister to the opening party and I introduced her to Hugh and Sutton. And when I introduced my sister to Sutton, she was like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to finally meet you. And my sister was like, what are you talking about? I'm nothing. You're Sutton Foster. I don't know. So it's just like, they're both so amazing. And the relationship that they have built together, it's so special. They do, before every show, they just sit in one of their dressing rooms and just like chat and just have something to drink and just catch up. I mean, Sutton's daughter just thinks of Hugh Jackman as Uncle Hugh. That's just, they're just so close. And yeah, we're all just such like a tight-knit family. It's so special.
Yeah, I love that. So do you have anyone that you look up to as an actor or like a dancer?
As a dancer, I've always looked up to Baryshnikov. I'm seeing him in White Knight when I was younger. I was always like, wow, I want to do that. And also just like, honestly, it's hard for me to pick someone in the theater world just because when I was younger, I would just like absorb as many Broadway shows as I could. I'm trying to think if there's like anyone who, I mean, Hugh Jackman honestly has always been a big inspiration to me. Seeing him in The Greatest Showman was insane. And I always have more so the idolization I've always had for Baryshnikov as a dancer and performer has always been kind of the leading factor in getting me to a point where I could be not only, because I feel like he is such an icon that he's not only a dancer, you know, like he's done so many things and started off as such an amazing dancer. And that's kind of how I want to create my career. It's like started off as just like someone who can dance, but is so much more.
Yeah, exactly. Like you, like a lot of people you see are not like, are always on one specific thing. Like they always say, oh, this world means nothing. I just did it to get more popularity.
Yeah.
And there's really, like, if you see someone like Hugh Jackman do it, he just does it to get more experience and actually wants to do it. He cares about everyone that's working with him.
Yes.
And he really shows that. Like I literally saw him on tour when he went on tour years ago. And like he literally was talking with everyone in the crowd and everything. Like he's literally the most heartwarming person. I literally don't know him that well, but I can tell as like a fan, and when I got the chance to speak with him, I'm like, okay, well, this is how he is.
No, yeah, it's him and the way that he is. on stage and in interviews is exactly the way that he is off stage and just in private. It's crazy. And same with Sutton. They're both so bubbly and bright. It's like, there's, yeah.
It's something you don't see a lot in people.
No, it's really not. And Sutton was saying this, he is like the perfect leading man and has created, like, he like leads the company in such an amazing way. And you know, I mean, they both do. It's not just, I mean, like you were saying, the way that they interact with each other has really created such a safe space. And same with all of the other cast members on stage. Like Jefferson is an amazing actor. I remember in rehearsals when we would be in the gym scene right before 76 Trombones, when the mayor is trying to do 7 years ago. We would literally have to stop because we would all be cracking up because he would just be so amazing and hysterical and funny. And so I just go, it's a constant cycle of inspiration.
I love that. So the final question is, what's some advice for younger generations that like to be like a dancer, actor, that type of stuff one day?
Absorb everything you can. It took me a while to kind of break the nervousness and the kind of like, I don't want to say stigma, but like, you know, can be scary, breaking the mold and trying to be an actor and singer and dancer. And you don't know like if it'll happen for you, but the best advice I could give is just always keep going and always always take the class that makes you the most uncomfortable. See as many shows as you can, go to concerts, go to plays, just like soak everything up like a sponge, because there's so many lessons to be learned, not only on like seeing stuff, but like in the studio and in classes. Like I've learned so many amazing lessons just going to Steps and Broadway Dance Center. And I met so many amazing people. So I would say, yeah, the best advice I could give is just keep your head up, keep going to those classes, and everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
And then, yes.
I couldn't agree more. Like as long as if you really want to do something, you need to work on it. Unless you're not gonna go anywhere.
Yes, exactly. If you dream about something, the only way to make a dream a reality is to work towards that reality.
Exactly. So, and so I just want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I seriously love speaking with you. Oh my gosh, you're so great. You seriously are amazing.
Thank you. You're so sweet. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
So
thank you.
And let's like grab coffee or something next time I head down to New York City.
Yeah.
Something. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let me know when you're back in the city and we'll go grab a coffee and have a face-to-face conversation.
Yes, I love that. So thanks so much, and let's speak soon for sure. Thanks so much.
Of course. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.